Well, I've been doing weather education, I think, for my whole adult and childhood life. And basically it's because most people really don't understand how the atmosphere works. And in fact, that's how my company got its name. People kept asking me how the weather works, so I became How the Weather Works. The problem is that so much of science gets presented as technical, way over the head of people. And if you can put it in terms that they understand, simple daily experiences, simple scenarios they've been in, simple explanations. I like to do a lot of stuff with stuff in the kitchen. You know, just pots, pans, glasses, beakers, food coloring, milk, sugar, just messing around in the kitchen. It's my weather lab. So that's from, you know, the education. What people really don't understand the most about is, quote, climate change and, quote, global warming. They put the two of them together in part because that's how the media has portrayed it and politicos have portrayed it. And it's a very, very complicated subject, extremely complicated subject. It goes back to the whole history of Earth, which is in the billions of years, and we're treating it as though the last 100 years we know exactly what's going on. So my scenario, which I've actually done, is I've said if 1 second could control your life, and you take the period of time that we know about weather, you know, 100, 200, 300 years, and you put the 300 years on the 4.4 billion year life cycle of the Earth, then 1 second is equivalent to 5 years. So if 1 second of your life can define the next 5 years in your life, then that's what 100 years or 200 years of our weather records is compared to 4 billion years of Earth history. It's tough.
If that 1 second gives you a pretty good signal about what may happen, do you think it's worth hedging your bets and taking some action? Or, because it sounds like the 1 second point that you're making is really to say we shouldn't be making any drastic decisions based on a short interval of time.
Well, I'm not saying we shouldn't make a decision. I'm saying that we shouldn't make a decision, quote, at all costs. Where I'm coming from is, I don't want the Earth to be destroyed. I like to keep planet Earth. It's good. But what I'm concerned about is if we say that we are the cause, what if we've read the wrong second? And in reality, we're doing all of these things and we're going into a period of global cooling. We could be doing the things that make global cooling even worse. And as humans, we do have a record of trying to mess with Mother Nature and making the wrong choices. So my scenario is, instead of pushing for lots of public policy that relates on climate change, let's do it more on economics, let's do it more on energy independence, let's do it more on security. Let's not send our money overseas. Let's develop the alternative fuels in the United States that make sense, that are cost effective, productive, that the energy can be transported around. Let's do that. And the climate change piece will follow, and we don't have to use that as the carrot or the stick.
The primary driver.
It becomes the winning part of the win-win-win equation.
One final question. Should weather forecasters cover weather issues that may relate to climate change? Regional impacts, sea level rise, that kind of thing that may have slow impacts on an area but may be impacting some people within that area?
Well, I think the problem is that even if we take the worst case scenario that's presented in some of the reports like IPCC and others, that the changes that are going to happen in terms of really being manifested are going to be generational. That is, I may not see them for 20, 30, or 40 years of the consequence where they're going to really impact me. I mean, they may impact me, but so I'm saying make these changes because in 30 or 40 years something is going to happen where you're going to need to make them. I'm 64. I might not be here in 30 years. And so for me to then do everything to take care of that piece, suddenly it doesn't have meaning to me. It may have meaning to my kids, to my grandkids, may have meaning to someone like yourself who's nice and young, But you lose that piece when you start going outside of a lifetime. And you've got to have something that's more immediate for people. You know about our attention span. So if we can do something that says, look, I can save you 50 cents a gallon at the pump, I'm more likely to respond to that than something might happen in the next generation. And I think that's where we should go, and we can make a difference.